Over the years, I've realized how important small talk is, and I think it's kind of demonized. As a kid and a teenager, I used to avoid small talk like the plague, and I thought that, deep conversations were the only important conversations to be had, and anytime someone would try to make small talk with me, I would just give one-word answers. I would be very cold and dry. I wasn't a very fun person to talk to. I was avoiding small talk because I thought it was meaningless and it was just a waste of everyone's time. But now I've come to realize just how meaningful small talk is because of the intention and context behind it. I've come to realize that people make small talk with the intention of connecting with you, with the intention of forming human connections, relationships, bonds. If someone is making small talk with you, they care enough to make that small talk. They want to connect with you, and maybe they want to form a deeper bond, a deeper connection. Maybe they want to slowly move from small talk to medium talk to deep talk. We don't make small talk with people we don't want to connect with. So now when people make small talk with me, I feel grateful. I feel very appreciative and all warm and fuzzy that someone wants to make small talk with me and actually connect with me in person. So small talk is just a means to connect with other humans. And realizing the meaning and intention behind the small talk makes the small talk a lot more important, a lot more significant, rather than just a waste of time. Because it's not a waste of time if your intention behind the small talk is to create connections, relationships. It's a necessary step. And if we avoid small talk, we're also avoiding the connection. We're also avoiding deepening the relationship from stranger to acquaintance to friend to best friend, right? So small talk is just as important as deep talk. It's the first step in forming a connection with other people. We can't just go up to strangers and ask them what they think the meaning of life is. We can't just go up to them and say, what are your interests? What keeps you up at night? We can't ask deep questions right off the bat because we don't know if that stranger wants to talk to us. We don't know if they would be interested in having a connection with us. And the only way to know that is with small talk, because small talk opens up the gates to connection, and it allows us to see how the other person is reacting to our small talk. If the other person is trying to shuffle away and slowly depart from the space, if you can clearly see that the other person is uncomfortable and that they're trying to get away, then the small talk ends there and, it's fine. But if the other person is reciprocating and they're engaged and comfortable and they like talking with you while you're doing small talk, then chances are they like you. They have a good first impression of you, and you can continue talking if both of you wish to do so, right? So small talk is just an invitation to connect with another human being. And that took me way too long to realize. I don't know if it's an autistic tendency or something, but I would see small talk as just a waste of time. I don't want to talk about the weather. I don't want to follow a script of how are you? Good. How are you? Take care. It seemed pointless, but after realizing it's the only way to connect with people, and that if someone initiates small talk with you, it means that they intend to connect with you, that changed how I perceive social interactions and small talk. So if you hate small talk, if you try to avoid small talk the same way I used to do, then I hope you can see the intention behind the small talk. I hope you can see that the person trying to make small talk with you is actually just trying to connect with you. And small talk in terms of like scripts, like how are you, good, how are you, they seem like insincere, they seem inauthentic, but in reality, it's a good way to overcome social anxiety and uncertainty, because when you're trying to connect with a stranger, you don't know what to say, right? Having these small talk scripts that you can follow makes it easier for people to connect with strangers or people they've seen but haven't talked to yet. I understand the aversion to using those scripts, and I understand how insincere scripts can come across when someone asks you, how are you? It's frustrating to think that, they don't actually care about how you feel. They're just expecting you to say, good, how are you, right? But depending on the circumstance, the situation, the environment, they might not have enough time to listen to you talk about your feelings in detail, right? You might just be passing by each other, you might be in the elevator or wherever, and if they're asking how are you, they're really just trying to connect with you on a certain level. So we shouldn't be taking these scripts of, how are you, good, how are you, how's the weather, we shouldn't be taking these scripts too literally. Instead, we should try to look at the intention behind someone using that script. It's just an acceptable way to approach a stranger. It's an acceptable way to approach an acquaintance, someone you've seen a few times. So instead of avoiding small talk, instead of avoiding using these seemingly insincere scripts, we should embrace them as acceptable ways to connect with another human being and to use those scripts, those talking points, to approach strangers that we want to talk to without having to worry about what to talk about, because small talk is pretty obvious, right? You either talk about the weather, you either talk about something they're wearing, something they're doing, something they're holding, or you just ask them how they are. So having these scripts of small talk makes it easy to approach the people that you want to approach. It makes it easy to connect with people that gave you a good impression, right? It's a way to alleviate our social anxiety. As a teenager, I used to be so socially anxious, while also avoiding small talk as much as possible, while also thinking about what to say. Because I was avoiding small talk, I had no idea what to say to other people. I was overthinking my words, my sentences. I felt like every sentence I said had to have substance, had to have value. And so I didn't let myself talk superficially. I didn't let myself make small talk. And that prevented me from connecting with other people. And it also prevented me from having a social life and friends, because I didn't let myself talk superficially. I didn't let myself make small talk with other people. And that's the first step in forming a friendship. That's the first step in any relationship. And if you don't go through with the small talk, you're basically saying, I'm not interested in having a relationship with you. Bye-bye. So we have to accept and embrace small talk as the first step to having friendships, relationships of any kind. right? Small talk is basically like a handshake or a hug when you're meeting someone new or an acquaintance or whatever, right? It's the only way we can ever hope to develop deeper relationships. Of course, we shouldn't be stuck with only small talk. We should slowly progress into, I guess, medium talk, and then, slowly open ourselves up, slowly become more vulnerable, and share more and more stuff about ourselves, and slowly transition into deep conversations and have more meaningful interactions and conversations. But small talk is the gateway to those deeper conversations. So yeah, we shouldn't try to avoid small talk. We should embrace it and see the intention behind it and welcome it. Because what's not to like about someone saying, I want to connect with you, right? Having someone basically say they want to connect with us is a beautiful thing. So we should just embrace it and follow the script a bit before we can move on to deeper discussions. And if it's just a short interaction, that's fine. At least you got to connect with a different human being. We don't need to have deep conversations with everyone, right? If it's just someone in the elevator, having a short interaction of a few sentences is still meaningful. It still gives you joy, and it really makes you appreciate their intentions, their interaction. So now I look forward to having small talk with other people. It adds a little bit more joy to my day, and I'm grateful for all the small talk I get to have with strangers. So if you're one to avoid small talk, I hope that inspired you to look at small talk in a different way. I hope that inspired you to embrace small talk and try it out for yourself and be more open to the joys of interacting with humans on this small scale. Yeah, let me know what you think. That's all I have for today. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to my channel and checking out my other videos. I would very much appreciate that. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Take care. Bye.